Oh, welcome back to the Propagandist channel as we continue on with our RWBY OST reactions. This time round, of course, we're going on to Volume 6. Now, I'm kind of looking forward to this one because even though I don't remember some of the soundtrack of it too well, I just have odd recollections that Volume 6's soundtrack was one that I did enjoy, particularly obviously its opening theme, things like that. So, yeah, this will be a curious and interesting one, this will, ladies and gentlemen. Now, something else I will mention, of course, just before I get into things. Apologies if the Volume 5 OST reaction felt like it was a bit, I don't know, a bit off or a bit all over the place. Basically, I don't know, last week it felt like everything that could go wrong or everything that might basically not play ball basically just didn't play ball with me. It felt like my camera, I don't know if it really showed up on the footage, but certainly when I was reviewing it felt like my camera footage of my face cam, that is, was in a lower frame rate, and then of course Internet Archive was being a bit of a pain in the backside in terms of just how slow it was running and all that, which I get. You know, Internet Archive obviously, as far as I'm aware, Internet Archive obviously subsists on charitable donations from users, and of course that means, you know, they don't have all the money in the world to buy, you know, state-of-the-art servers and whatever else have you, so probably there will be times where that website runs a little bit more slowly, but still, it was just unexpected because of the fact that previously it had been running fine throughout the Volume 1 to 4 OST reactions. And it was just for that one that it seemed to chug a little bit and seemed to struggle with buffering the actual music tracks. Hopefully it'll be better this time around, but even if it isn't, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, if there are pauses between some of the tracks, then that's fine. I can maybe just talk about what I've listened to and give thoughts and, you know, that kind of thing. So it's not a big deal. So, Volume 6, ladies and gentlemen, thinking about that one. So I was looking on the Internet Archive page and then on the RWBY Wiki to make sure that the number of tracks between the two of them added up. So for this one, technically there's about 11 tracks which are of note. 3 of them, though, are remixes or acoustic versions. One of them is an acoustic version of Armed and Ready. Another one, I believe, if I'm looking at my laptop just here. In fact, actually, it's not on there. What am I doing? But there's 2 others that are basically just remixes of tracks we've heard before. So of the 11 tracks, 3 of them we aren't going to be listening to because basically I made the decision with Volume 5 that for these OST reactions, although I had been doing so in the you know, with the earlier volumes, I'm not going to be reacting to any of the remix or acoustic versions at this point, just because they are the same songs ultimately that we've heard before, so there's nothing really new for me to say about them. Obviously, you know, it might be interesting to listen to them because, you know, for the different instrumentation, but I don't really see that as reason enough to include them in these reactions. I might listen to them in my own time. And of course, you know, the thing is, when you actually tot up the amount of time that it takes for these reactions to listen to all of these different tracks, these episodes can end up being quite substantially huge. So actually taking out acoustic and remix versions of the songs just helps to not considerably shorten the episodes, but it does help to make them a bit more bite-sized and therefore a bit more manageable, because otherwise, you know, some of these reactions have taken me, what, about an hour to get through some of these tracks, which is, you know, quite a lot of time for just one video and all that. So again, it just comes down to the fact that I'm often quite busy and I don't really always have the time to do recordings, so I have to seize whatever opportunity I have. And obviously if I have an episode that ends up taking an hour, that eats a lot into my available time for recording and all that, so I just have to try and keep that, you know, under control in essence. Alright, that's probably enough from me then, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to the Volume 6 reaction itself. Alright, here we are on the Internet Archive page. Obviously you can't see that right now, but I can see that with all the tracks on it. Also, as I did with the Volume 5 OST, I've got my laptop open just off screen over there that has the lyrics for the songs that we're actually going to be listening to on it, so I can follow along. Even if I can't quite actually tell what is being said in the music, I can at least read it on there and know what's being said. Alright, so first track is Rising, the volume theme. Ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I've forgotten this one. Well, bits of it. Not my favourite volume opening, but probably a good one. Yes, I do remember this one having some good elements to it. Grab your brews and your cups of tea, ladies and gentlemen. These are some interesting lyrics. Catching dreams. Okay, well obviously this is a longer version of the song, so here's some lyrics we haven't heard before, or I haven't at least. Won't be beaten by the past. Interesting. That definitely means something in light of what happens in Volume 6. The rose will grow to be a seed. That's an interesting way of putting it. I'm just thinking about that rose will grow to be a seed, because roses don't, well, obviously in the life cycle of a rose it does release seeds. Yeah. I don't like this opener as much as, say, This Will Be the Day or Time to Say Goodbye, but I do like it. It is probably one of my, top ones from RWBY. Sorry, I'm just going to stop that and pause that for a moment, just because I want to talk about that a bit. But basically, so whilst Volume 6's theme isn't, like I say, one of my favourites, I think it is one of the standout ones, nonetheless, for me. It's one of the ones that I feel like I remember more than most other volumes. So I think, Volume 1, 2 remain my favourites. Probably Volume 6 and 9 are therefore probably second place, because they're the other two RWBY volume themes that I just feel like I remember most of all, and all that. Okay, well the good news is, it definitely appears like Internet Archive is running smoothly. Again, I did check the recorded footage for the intro section a moment ago for my face cam. It looks like the frame rate on my camera again is possibly being a bit of a pain. I don't know, maybe my webcam is maybe it's aging, maybe it's dying, maybe I need to get a replacement at some point that has a smoother frame rate. Again, I don't know how this will show up when I actually edit the footage though, because again I'm sort of block recording some of these episodes in advance of when they'll go out, so I've not even yet edited the Volume 5 reaction as of when I record this, but yeah. Okay, so that was Rising, ladies and gentlemen. The next one we've got is called Miracle. Let me just restart that one, and there we go. Oh, was this combat music for the Grim on the train at the very start? Feels like it. Yeah. I remember this now. I just needed it to jog my memory. So that thing I said a moment ago about not really remembering some of Volume 6's soundtrack, that was a lie. I just needed a prod. Running out of time, nowhere near the finish line. Reckoning is near. Ah. Just looking at the lyrics. That's very interesting. No miracle in sight. Yeah, this is very much tying in with the events of Volume 6, particularly the exposition of what they learn about Ozpin and Salem. This is actually quite a good track. I'm amazed, frankly, that I forgot this, because it's actually quite a good one. At least I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah, very much relating into the themes of Volume 6, with the exposition reveal and then the sense of hopelessness. Internet Archive, if you could buffer the remainder of the song, please. Okay, it's fine. Interesting about a miracle being in front of your eyes. I guess that still relates to Team RWBY still having a sense of hope despite the reveals. You know. Okay, next one is One Thing, 3:45. Okay, not too long of one. Let me just bring that up on my laptop as well. Okay, it's an interesting start, this one.
Gone tonight that he gave, now revenge is all
What was this played in the volume? I don't remember this one. I was going to say, does this play during the fight sequence between Maria and Top? But I don't remember this. So maybe not. It was in the credit sequence somewhere. Who or what is this one about? I mean, it could be multiple things, but this is a curious one. That's a curious one. Who might that be about? I feel like possibly Crow or Maria. I don't know, judging by the lyrics. Okay, next one is Lionize, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, maybe I'll have some thoughts on that in the post-reaction discussion. Wait. It's an interesting start, this one. This is another one that could, I don't know, thinking who or what would this one be about. Is this relating to Salem and Ospin's past? You know, the bit where they try to unify humanity in the flashback? I don't know. I'm the hero, I'll be Lionize, I have the strength to do what's needed. Unify our people with no compromise. That sounds a bit like that line Salem said in Volume 6. You know? We must unify them all and destroy those who stand against us. Time to turn the table on who's tyrannised. That made me think of Adam, but another one that I might have some thoughts on towards the end, because I feel like that could relate again to a couple of characters in certain ways. Alright, next one is Big Metal Shoe. Is this to do with Cordovin? And it's actually starting out like a baby's mobile. Nope. And then the electric guitars kick in. Hello, hello. Mirror, mirror. Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, it's got to be about Cordovin. This Big Metal Shoe immediately makes you think of Atlas and her. Yeah, there's a lot of nursery rhyme references in this one. Guess who's falling down? Big Metal Shoe. Wish like the fisherman. Glass slippers. Jesus. There's always a rap section, isn't there, in a lot of these?
To a wrinkle, bloody up the scene, a nightmarish fiend. Run the bridge down, you can't make a sound. The wheels on your bus have just been crushed. Any, meeny, mine, time for you to die. Catch you by the toe, never letting go. No time to pray. It's your last day. A, B, C, D, you can't see me.
Yeah, it's about Cordovin fighting Team RWBY at the towards the end of the volume. Yeah, a lot of nursery rhyme references in that. House of Straw, London Bridge, kids nursery rhymes and things like that. Alright, next is Nevermore. This is track 6 of 8 that we're going to be listening to in this episode, so we're already over halfway. It's actually quite a big one though, there's 4 minutes 51 seconds, nearly 5 minutes. There's quite a few songs in the RWBY OSTs where it starts off with, you know, fairly calm or slightly more sedate, slower, a slower verse, and then suddenly the electric guitars go in, don't they? Lionize, so it kind of relates back to the other song. I thought about this one as well, in terms of who or what this might be relating to. Interesting. Story of a boy who lost his way. It's about Oscar. Because I was originally thinking, is this a bit about the dynamic between Ozpin and Team RWBY in light of what happens in Volume 6? Maybe. But that line about story of a boy who lost his way could also be Oscar. I don't know. I'll have thoughts towards the end. Good. Right, next is Indomitable. This one's nearly 5 minutes long, and the one after that is over 5 minutes long. So we're on to the final two tracks that we're going to listen to this episode, and they are, of course, the longest.
I met a man, he had a dream. I tried to understand, but nothing was what it seemed. Sometimes that's how gods roll. We'd sit for hours, he'd share his plans to build a universe and make every part by hand. A big scheme with an infinite goal. So I would watch and listen and try as the pieces and bits became whole. But there was more going on than the work at hand. What I learned had to do with the strength of the soul. There's a light that shines, and its power is mine. Though our body's weak and breakable, the spirit is indomitable.
This is a good one. This one's got some good instrumentation, good tune to it.
So step by step and frame by frame, a world created, its map fashioned from a stain. Just dream big, then work till it grows. I learned this lesson, we can evolve, achieving anything as long as our hearts resolve. Believing will make it so. Though our lives are limited by years on earth, our dreams won't be bound inside. The goal
It's a good motivational song, this, isn't it? Did this play in the finale of Volume 6 when RWBY unleashed her silver-eyed power against the giant Seagrim? I don't know. I'm not sure if I remember exactly.
For something that's so unfair. It's cruel, but that's how life goes. But through the sadness, thousands of tears, we see his message sparkling and crystal clear. Our work is larger than we know. There's a light that shines, and its power is mine. Though our bodies weak and breakable, the spirit is indomitable.
That's quite a good track. I do like that one. Yeah, that must have played towards the end of Volume 6 when RWBY used her silver-eyed power on the Seagrim, right? I forget the name of that Grim at the very end, but okay, last one. Forever Fall. 5 minutes 23. Brace yourselves. This one might be a bit emotional because we know, of course, who this relates to. Oh boy, flashbacks to Jean in the park in Arcus.
Once, like a dream, you looked at me, and everything felt new. Time slipped away. The past seemed to fade. My hope
This was such a sad one.
And I know for some it's temporary, like a shooting star soon out of view. But this will always be, it's my destiny to be in love with you. Some people fall in love for life, others never get it right. Love's fickle when it goes. One thing that I know for sure, longer than our lives endure, you're my forever fall.
I always find the RWBY soundtrack is at its best when it's doing songs like this sometimes. Not so much these sort of faster paced electric guitar action sequence music, though they are fine. But this is where I find it tends to really shine.
Helped me believe a ray of hope shined through. You set me free. Saw what the world couldn't see. I found my joy in you.
I mean, we know that this is first and foremost about Jean and Pyrrha, but yeah.
Every life is filled with passing moments. Like the seasons change, they come and go. But this is infinite. Nothing, even death, could separate our souls. 'Cause you're my final goal. Some people fall in love for life, others never get it right. Love's fickle when it goes. One thing that I know for sure, longer than our lives endure, you're my forever.
Can't help but feel a bit emotional throughout this one, can you? When you remember that scene with Jean in the park, that was a great scene in Volume 6. This is one of the reasons why I say Volume 6 is probably one of my favourite volumes overall. It had so many things in it that made it so good. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the reaction then. Like I say, technically there's 11 soundtracks to this full OST, but we're only listening to those 8 because the next one, well, from the next one, it's basically just acoustic or remix versions of previous songs, and, you know, I've chosen that we're not going to be continuing with those ones just because there's nothing new there. Alright, let's get a jump cut here, and then let's get some final thoughts, because there's definitely a couple of songs there that I can talk about, so let's do that. You know what I said earlier in the video, how it's strange? I had memories of some of Volume 6's OSTs being really cool, and yeah, I couldn't really remember them too well. Yeah, I just needed this to jog my memory, because now this has really jogged my memory. I remember that Volume 6 had some great soundtracks in it, like Forever Fall, you know, Indomitable, things like that. So yeah, I don't know what I was talking about earlier at the start of the video there. I guess, you know, because it's been a long time since I watched Volume 6, I probably just, you know, my memory was maybe being a bit rusty and all that. I wonder if that'll be the same once we get to Volume 7 and 8, because I've said before how Volume 7 and 8, barring one or two snippets, I genuinely don't remember their soundtracks that well, but then again, that's because it's been a long time since I watched those, so again, that could just be my memory being rusty and all that. Okay, but let's talk about, you know, some of the interesting tracks that we had within there. I mean, obviously, you know, the volume theme itself, Rising, was, you know, really interesting, and I'm glad to listen to that one again, because, like I said, not one of my favourites, but definitely one of the up there, well, one of the ones that I think is very good overall. Definitely, I think I would put that above some of the other volume themes that we've heard so far. Obviously, Volume 1 and 2, you know, This'll Be the Day, Time to Say Goodbye, they remain my favourite volume themes overall. But this one and probably Volume 9's probably come in second place. And you know what, I'm just repeating myself at this stage, what am I doing? But yeah, other tracks there that I thought were really interesting. One thing, that I was sort of wondering, you know, what would that one be about? And at first I was kind of thinking, is that about Maria and the loss of her eyes? You know, the one thing that's probably very important to her. Then I thought, is it actually about Crow and his relationship with Ozpin? Because, you know, if you remember from Volume 6, after there's the whole exposition episode with Jin, obviously the first thing that Crow does to Ozpin/Oscar is he punches him in the face. You remember correctly, because obviously, you know, Crow is learning something for the first time about why he's doing what he's doing and what Ozpin has possibly, you know, withheld from him and all that. So I feel like, you know, the lyrics of One Thing could relate to Crow as well, potentially. Or it could relate a bit to Maria. I mean, the thing is, sometimes with these songs I wonder, are they meant to specifically just refer to, you know, one singular character or one singular dynamic between a couple of characters, or actually, you know, could the lyrics be broad enough? Could they have been devised to be broad enough to actually apply to potentially more than one situation or more than one character? And that could very well be the case. You never know, it might not be a binary either or. It could be there's elements of both of them going on in there, which I think is really interesting. The other song, of course, that I had some thoughts on was Lionize. So I was kind of wondering again, you know, who is that necessarily about, or what is that necessarily about? And, you know, as I was listening to that, I sort of got the vibe of, is this about the relationship between Ozpin and Team RWBY? Because, again, there's a lot of lyrics in there about sort of one person's truth, or, you know, one person sort of showing, you know, an apparent path forward, but then the person whose perspective the song is written from sort of maybe rejecting that and saying, no, find my own path, that kind of thing. So, again, that could be about the revelation for Team RWBY as well, when they learn that, you know, there's things that Ozpin hasn't been telling them, and therefore, you know, what that means for themselves. So it's interesting that, you know, some of these songs in this particular OST, when I was listening to them, I definitely got this feeling of, you know, kind of, how should I say, sort of a kind of dichotomy between sudden realizations and epiphanies that come with quite harrowing feelings, or feelings of kind of maybe being out of one's depth, as in, you know, you're realising that actually the scale of the challenge that's being faced is much bigger than previously thought, but at the same time, still a bit of a sense of, there's still a bit of hope there, there's still a plan forward, even if it feels like a very fragile one. So it's kind of almost a bit of like a sense of desperation, kind of, because, you know, Volume 6 obviously was interesting storyline-wise, because obviously you have the big reveal from Jin about Ozpin and Salem's past and what he's been hiding from them. And then, of course, you know, for a few of the subsequent episodes after that, you know, Team RWBY and Crow are very much in kind of an interesting position, because obviously, you know, Crow sort of really embraces his alcoholism for a moment because he doesn't really know what to do. And obviously Team RWBY is sort of left struggling, thinking, oh god, what do we do in this situation? You know, how do we deal with the fact that Salem is apparently invincible or immortal or whatever? Which is obviously kind of interesting, because you then have that tension emotionally within each member of Team RWBY. And I think some of these songs kind of capture a bit of that emotional state At least it feels like they do to me. So, you know, very much relating in with what happens within that. So I think, there's that, which I think is particularly notable in this particular soundtrack. So in terms of, shifting away from that, thinking about what are probably some of the standout tracks from this volume then, from this OST. Obviously Rising is up there, given that, it is one of those volume opening themes that I actually do really like, even if it's not necessarily one of my favourites. On top of that, Indomitable was good. Forever Fall is a classic. That's got to be one of the standout tracks from Volume 6. Very emotional, very hard-hitting. Really sort of went well with that scene with Jean in the park, in Argus and all that, which I've already mentioned now, I won't sort of repeat that too many times. But I'm glad I came and listened to this one again, because it really jogged my memory, and it reminded me that Volume 6 had some great soundtracks to it. It really did. And it just goes to show, how... I've mentioned this previously. I think I mentioned it at the end of the Volume 5 OST reaction, but part of the reason why it took me so long to actually do my Let's Watch of Volume 6 on the channel wasn't just because of work commitments, meaning that I was kind of distracted from it and I just never got around to watching RWBY, Volume 6 at the time that it was airing. But it was also that, after Volume 6 had aired, I'd seen so many kind of strong criticisms of Volume 6 from elements of the fandom. People who were saying that Volume 6 apparently ruined a lot of things for them. And, I will admit that that did kind of hold me back for a while, because I was like, ooh, is it worth watching, continuing with RWBY? But then eventually I just thought, screw it, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to keep going with RWBY. I think part of that probably was actually watching other reactors reacting to Volumes 1 through 3 particularly, which kind of reminded me of how much I did enjoy RWBY, and I sort of sat there and I thought, you know what, I shouldn't listen to these criticisms online, I should actually watch it for myself and then come to my own conclusion, and I did. And after I watched Volume 6 I sat there and I thought, why are people criticising this volume so strongly? I mean, sure, yeah, there's one or two minor things in it that maybe you could criticise it for, but overall, Volume 6 was great. I loved Volume 6. I came away from it thinking this might actually be one of my favourite volumes overall. So, yeah, there were so many good things in it that I really enjoyed. And I thought to myself, that's why I shouldn't really put too much stock in some of the criticisms that have been levied at it, at RWBY, online. I should just watch it for myself. Because, people on the internet always have that classic thing where they really exaggerate certain things. Or, they seize on... Oh, God, you probably just heard that. That was my phone going off. Someone probably sending a WhatsApp message. I'll check that after the recording and all that. But yeah, I suppose it just goes to show that, there are aspects of the fandom that you should take what they say with a bit of a pinch of salt, to put it that way. But yeah, I'm glad, of course, that I eventually sat down and watched Volume 6, because like I say, I really enjoyed it overall. It definitely would be up there probably as one of my favourite volumes if if and when I do my volume ranking, tier list, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that was great, I really enjoyed that one. Unfortunately, Internet Archive held out, even if my webcam, maybe the frame rate is still chugging a little bit. Like I say, I'll have to maybe think about investing some time in a better camera to do my face cam with. Because the issue is, this particular webcam that I've used, I've actually owned for years. It's the same webcam, I think, that I had when I was doing my Volume 5 reactions back in the day. And that was flipping... God, actually, come to think of it, yeah. That would have been... How long ago would that have been? That would have been... Yeah, that would have been years ago. That would have been so many years ago. That would have been... I don't think it would have been 10 years ago, but it would be somewhere... just shy of a decade. So I've had this camera for probably somewhere in the region of 8, possibly 9 years, somewhere around there. So yeah, this camera's probably getting quite old, and I probably do need to replace it. So yeah, I'll have to see if I can invest in something that's a bit better than a cheap budget webcam and all that. I just need to think carefully about how I'd set it up for the actual recordings and all that, so it can get my face at a good, decent angle where I'm sort of looking straight into the camera and all that. But yeah, well there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think we'll wrap up there for the Volume 6 OST reaction. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that one overall. Like I say, I did exclude the acoustic and remix versions of the songs. I know some people do like the acoustic versions and would probably say maybe I should include those ones, but I don't know, it's the same song. It's just a remix again of the same song that same songs that we've heard previously. So I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see when the Volume 5 OST reaction goes live on the channel. If people want to see me do the acoustic versions, even if I do exclude the remix ones. But yeah, people can let me know their thoughts. Like I say, obviously, I do tend to block record these episodes a couple of weeks in advance of when they're actually going to go out, just, because I'm seizing whatever time I have to do recordings and all that. But, I've talked about that before, no point repeating myself. Okay, let's wrap up here then, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, do leave a like, and always, it's always appreciated when people do that. Leave your comments obviously down below, tell me what, you thought about some of these songs. I always do enjoy engaging with people in the comments and all that. As usual, obviously Propagandist is my second channel. My main channel is John Red Strategist, where I do various gaming content, so there might be something of interest to you over there if you want to go and have a look. There's a link in the video description. Other than that, join me next time for the Volume 7 OST reaction. Again, I don't really remember anything of the Volume 7 OST, so it might be that maybe those tracks just didn't chime with me, or maybe I just need, my memory just needs jogging and all that, because it has been a number of years since I did my Volume 7 reaction. But we'll see. So join me for that. I'll see you then, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye, everybody.